put in the presentation with all the thing of Venice. You see, it's like when you see the picture, you want to go exactly there. Okay, I start here, and now, as always in this group, I would like to share only, but because I see that a lot of new people, basic member, that they don't know InterNation, I wanted to only introduce InterNation to like that they know what is that. Okay, for people that is the first time that connect.
What will they say about you? That you shouldn't have left? That it will be hard? That you'll miss home? That it's too risky? That you'll never adjust? But we say you're a pioneer. You'll figure out the answers or find someone who can help. You'll learn the language. You'll land the pitch. You'll start the company. You'll find the job. You'll adjust, you'll succeed, and you'll thrive. Your life abroad will never be the same as the one you left behind, and you'll never be the same either. You'll discover abilities you didn't know you had, and new friends you don't know how you lived without. You live in places you never imagined, and have experiences you only dreamed about, and overcome challenges you never thought you'd face. And we'll be there every step of the way.
And this is what I wanted to tell, is InterNation connecting global mind, only for people they don't know, all the activities that you can share, and you can choose the group that you want according to your hobbies. And we spoke in the first meeting when I did something global of Venice. And here we speak about the history. Okay, I keep here. I want to start with Luana. It's for this I am not going to put. And here I wanted to keep only my presentation. Who am I? Okay, I am consul here in this group, but I have another group in Paris community to make in-person activities. And here I put a little of my background. Okay, I work in the travel service industry. I have a bachelor in tourism because I love traveling. It's for this I did my work because I love it. And of course, yes, as I told, I am InterNation Consul in Paris community with this group, and love either traveling, exploring hidden place around the world. Yes, we can, if you want, we can come back later if you want to know more about the history of Venice, okay? But okay, we're going to pass to the next. I am going to explain at the same time. It's for this I don't put the music very high. At the top, you can see the train that you can use from Paris. I spoke before. There is a train specific where you can spend the night. And like that, if you want to go for one day, you can economize the hotel. Okay, and this is what I did. It's very comfortable, you can see in the video. And down, I wanted to share something that everybody knows Venice, is the carnival. And you see with all the costume, this is a good experience to share. It's for this that I wanted to start before to make the introduction of Luana about the Venice tips. Okay, I am going to put less music to listen. And yes, and I wanted to tell about the Venice tip is our biggest tip of the trip is get up early. For example, if you come by train, you are going to arrive there more or less at 8, okay? And you are going to see the beginning of the day. And after, I advise you to book the ticket in advance, okay? Because more time you take to plan is going to be cheaper than if you wait at the last minute. The number 3 is cover your shoulder and knee. Why? Because if you want to enter to church, such San Mark Basilica, it's like in Vaticano, they are going to ask you to cover your shoulder and knees, okay? And number 4, for example, we could never find anywhere to sit down. In fact, it's illegal to sit down in a lot of places in Venice, such as steps, the bridge, and Piazza San Marco. We're going to ask later to Luana why this tip. Okay, and after 5 is carry a water bottle with you and fill up the city's fountains. We love that we could get free and delicious water all over Rome from other fountains. Okay, Other thing that I put here, I wanted to speak about more or less the tips, but if you want, is when to visit Venice. But the best time, this is the most important, is more or less in July. And you are going to see why is maybe the best month, because it's less hot than in August, and it's the best moment to go. Okay, well, we can speak more about this, about the getting to Venice, how to go. But as I told you, from Paris you can take the train. It's easy, but you have the flight, no problem, from other destination. And yes, and it's very easy to go there. Okay, and wait, I manage people. And the next time is where to stay, but where to stay in Venice. There is a lot of tip there. You can choose from hotel. I have three tips. For example, after you are going to speak to Luana, you can choose between the Hotel Tiziano, the Hotel Arcellino, or Capoccio Inn, for example. But you have another hotels if you want to stay there. After I wanted getting around Venice. I don't want to tell more because getting around Venice is about all the tour that Luana has prepared for us. And one day in Venice is my personal tip. Maybe we are going to speak later, but first we are going to see all the things of Luana. And if you have an extra time, why not? We can plan something. Okay. And if you want, I am going to stop here with this music, very nice, of the Carnival of Venice.
Hello, hi everybody. How are you doing? So first of all, I would like to say thank you very much to Carolina and InterNations for hosting me tonight. And then I would like to say buonasera, buongiorno to everybody, to all of you who decided to connect tonight, to stop and listen to what I have to say about this beautiful city that's Venice. I would like to start saying that today in Venice is a beautiful day. It's been sunny all day, and with a temperature of about 19 degrees, about 67 degrees Fahrenheit for our American friend. And spring has come, but it has rained a lot lately, so we haven't seen so many tourists so far. And in the last year, it's been a bit tough. We have had to change our habits, to change our lives because, you know, of the COVID, but we are getting out of it lately. And we are expecting many people to come already this summer, and more until we go back to normal, I hope, because we really miss having people from all over the places here in Venice. And we are really eager to welcome you, to show you the beauty of this city that has been very good and brave in survive at least 5 waves of plagues during her history. So consider coming to Venice as a symbol of hope and as a symbol of recovery after what we have been living all around the world because of this COVID. As a matter of fact, this year would be the perfect time to come to Venice, also for another thing. It's Venice's birthday. I mean, Venice was founded in about 421 after Christ. And if you calculate, it's been 1600 years since this city was born, and it's been doing very well so far. So you are really welcome to come and celebrate the birthday of Venice with me, hopefully, and looking forward to see you in person. So today I would like to share with you one of the many itineraries that I know in this town. Considering you are so many, some of you have already been in Venice, some others would love to come for the first time. I have chosen an itinerary that's quite simple, and you can take it easy. It's suitable for people who have walking problems as well, and for people who just want to enjoy Venice without being too much in a hurry. But anyway, you can do it also if you are staying in Venice for just one night. You can manage it. So I would like to start my presentation so you can see the itinerary I have. Is it perfect? Great. So as you see, you are all invited to celebrate Venice's birthday this year. And this is a video that I would like to dedicate to all the tourists that would like to come to my town. Thank you, Carolina. And well, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am a bit emotional. Sorry for this, because it's the first time I have to guide someone through a virtual itinerary I'm not used to. So I hope I will do it as better as I can. So yes, as Carolina was saying, I am a tour guide and a tour leader. And I speak English, Spanish, so usually I do my tours using these two languages. And I've been working for some American tour operators. Usually the groups I take around are groups of people starting from the age of 50s and over 50s. So I am used to, problem solving. especially if I meet with the tourists that have a particular need, or they have some walking difficulties, no problem at all. I mean, just ask me in case you need something or you would like to skip some steps of the itinerary, no problem at all. As you know, in Venice, there are a lot of bridges. It's a town with hundreds of bridges because it was built into several islands, and they are all connected by these bridges. Some bridges are made of stone, some bridges are made of irons, the most modern ones, some were made of wood. Anyway, as I was saying, my first itinerary will start from the train station, Santa Lucia. I have chosen this point because it's very strategic. And nowadays, the majority of people, of visitors, they start knowing Venice from the station of Santa Lucia, which is very well organized. You get off the train and you get off the station, and in front of you, you have the Grand Canal, the beginning of the longest canal and the largest canal in Venice. So I will go on now with the presentation, and I would like to show you what's outside.
Okay.
Very good. So this is a general map of Venice. I decided to include it because it's good to start with a general view over the town. As you can see, it has a very funny shape, the shape of a fish. Maybe that's why it was able to survive and float in water until now. So the station is right here on your left-hand side, on the northern part of the city. As soon as you get here and you turn left, you will be able to almost follow the Grand Canal up until this other red point here that I am indicating right now. Well, this point that's exactly in the middle of the Grand Canal length is the Rialto Bridge. And this is one of the most iconic places of Venice. And I would like to take you there first of all. But from the station to here, there are so many things to see, and many of them are free of charge. I mean, you just need to know where they are, enter, have a visit, experience them. And so you will make the most of Venice. So let's go back to the station. Now I will show you better. This is what you're gonna see as soon as you get off the station. So this very boring building, very rationalist building, is the station of Venice, the train station. Trains here are coming from all over the places, from France, from Austria, north of Europe. I mean, it's very easy to get to Venice by train, no problem. There are the bullet trains, of course, taking you from Venice to Rome, from Venice to Florence to Naples, no problem at all. The trains in Italy are very fast, and the train line is very developed, especially from north to south until Naples. And then south of Naples, maybe not so developed, but still you can make it. Anyway, I put this yellow sign to tell you that if you don't like walking very much, because you know that walking is essential in Venice, there are no cars at all. The only thing you can take are Vaporetto, that's the local bus, water bus for Venetians, or you can take a taxi like this motorboat that you can see here on your right-hand side. This beautiful Riva taxi, very fashionable. But the thing is, it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg. For example, to go by taxi from the station to St. Mark's Square, where everybody wanna go, consider paying 100 euros or 120. So for a 10-minute ride, it's not really worth it. But of course, if you would like a red carpet treatment, that's the means of transportation you want to use. Anyway, this station that you see on the canal, this is the boat docks, the stations where you can take the Vaporetto. where can you go with the Vaporetto? You can go to the highlights like Rialto Bridge or St. Mark's Square. Now I show you which lines you better take if you want to reach for the most important, most famous point in Venice. So if you take line number 1, which is the slowest because it stops everywhere along the Grand Canal, you will have to wait 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes there is one. Takes longer, of course, because it goes low and stops everywhere. But it's less crowded usually, and there are more Venetians than tourists on it. Consider you will have more time to enjoy the Grand Canal being on board of a boat crossing the main waterway in Venice, and more time to decide what to do in case you don't know where you're going. And consider that if you are standing, you can also lean and take a lot of pictures along the Grand Canal. This is a very important thing if you are a photographer, if you enjoy photography, because you got to know a secret. The best facade of the palazzi, of the buildings in Venice, are the one overlooking the Grand Canal. So going through the Grand Canal, you have the chance to take the most beautiful pictures of these palaces, of these buildings. Option number 2, the line number 2. It goes every 20 minutes. It stops only in Rialto. Great views from outside front seat. In 10 minutes, you'll be in Rialto, so it's very quick. But it can be very crowded during rush hours, like around 8 a.m. when a lot of people are coming into town to work, or at 6 p.m. when people come out from offices, from work to go back to the station and go back home. So if I was you, I wouldn't be in a hurry when in Venice, because in Venice, everything goes more slow. So forget about the clock if you can. Take Vaporetto number 1 and enjoy the ride. So let's go ahead. Now, I would like to show you in the map the itinerary that I have chosen for you. So as you can see, this is an overview of the town. We start from the station, and then we take the blue walk all through the city until down here. So in 26 minutes walking, you will be able to cover about 2 kilometers and getting to Rialto Bridge. The Calle, because in Venice we don't have a via anymore, street. We have Calle. Calle is the typical name of the street in Venice. We have a broad Calle taking you to Rialto Bridge, and the name of this Calle is Strada Nuova, the new street. New street. So this itinerary, I say itinerary number 1, because I would like later on this year to present other itineraries. So this number 1 goes from the train station to Rialto Bridge area. The length is 2 kilometers, time 25 minutes walk. And I have included a gondola experience during the itinerary. It will be a surprise. Some highlights you're going to meet along the way. Chiesa degli Scalzi, it's the first church on the left of the station. It's a Baroque church, free of charge, so you can just sneak in to have a look. It's very beautiful. And it also sells their own herbal products. The friars who are ruling the church, the order is those friars have a little shop just around the corner where they are selling shampoos, cream, all sorts of beauty things made of herbs. And then I have to confess, I love pastries, I love cakes and so on. So I couldn't help but suggesting something where to stop for a nice pastry, especially if you get into town in the morning and you need your second breakfast. So here on the right-hand side, you see Pasticceria Dal Mas. So pasticceria means pastry shop, and you're gonna meet that just after the church on your right-hand side. It's a small place. Do not expect big spaces in Venice because, I mean, it's an island, and so they had to build, you know, to build where they could, and they don't have much space like in the mainland. Anyway, you go inside and you will fall in love with what you see in the window. Beautiful pastries of all kinds. And of course, the chance to get your first espresso coffee or cappuccino or Americano, anything to just give you that energy you need to keep on walking and enjoy the town. Here on your left-hand side, you see the church I was talking about. It's a Baroque church, and it's just beside the station that you see on your left-hand side, just here. Okay, but let's go on. So along the way, there is one thing that's about 15 minutes walking, not even, maybe 10 minutes walking from the station, that you would never imagine what it is if you see it from the outside. And it's a Venetian palace with a beautiful facade that used to be the first cinema in Venice and now closed, and it's been transformed into the most beautiful supermarket of the world. Let me show you more. Let me show you more.
We are in the new Despar supermarket in Venice, the former Teatro Italia, a building designed and built in the early 20th century during the First World War. The theatre was later turned into a cinema, and a few decades later, it was donated to Ca' Foscari, the University of Venice. At the end of the 90s, it was permanently closed and left in a state of total neglect. In collaboration with the property ownership, Despar has now given new life to an historic building, important both for Venice and for its inhabitants, by restoring access to its premises. This was accomplished with utmost care and attention to this precious building, dating back to the early 20th century. All frescoes have been restored, and the supermarket project was designed to respect its hosting premises. The Venetians, as well as all the clients, can thus finally admire, after such a long time, a real gem of Art Nouveau architecture.
Ho la fortuna di essere in questo bellissimo posto e quindi sono molto contenta.
Più bello nel mercato del mondo. Per me è una soddisfazione e sono tornato a lavorare qua a Venezia.
Once again, Despar takes care of the territory in which it operates by returning value to the people of Venice.
Okay, so did you expect something like that from the outside? I don't think so. So this is something that I really enjoy showing to my visitors because it's always a surprise, and I enjoy seeing their faces when they think they are going to see some museums and then they see a supermarket. So, and it is always along the way. So don't worry, you won't be bored to get to Rialto on foot because there are many more surprises like this along the way. Besides, consider that the way Strada Nuova that's going to Rialto and San Marco is a broad way and is dotted by restaurants of all kinds, cafe, and of course many shops, many of them. Now, we were talking about gondola. I didn't mention gondola among the means of transportation in Venice because nowadays it's mainly touristic. I mean, if you're a tourist, you just dream of having a gondola ride just for fun, for enjoying your free time. and for some putting some romanticism in your trip. But until the 1800s, Venetians were using gondolas to go from one place to the other. It was the Venetian taxi, let's say that, the Venetian taxis. And nowadays, gondoliers are among the most photographed people in Venice. They are very sympathetic or very funny people, and they are known to make their best to make your trip unforgettable. Sometimes, if you request it, they can also hire a singer with an accordion or a guitar to make it even more romantic for you in the gondola. Don't be afraid of paying too much, because in order to regulate the gondola's market, nowadays you can be sure to pay a fair price, because prices are just published outside the gondola stations. So I'm sure you're curious to know how much it is. For a gondola ride of about 45 minutes, you're going to pay 80 euros. It means that you're paying 80 euros, even though you are 4 people or 5 or 6, that's the maximum people are allowed in a gondola. So you can share the price if you are in a group of friends. So you're not going to pay more than 80 euros. But I would like to show you other ways to enjoy gondola. First of all, if you like books, watch what we have to offer.
Exploring the nooks and crannies of Venice is fun and always reveals something interesting. Let me show you one of my very favorites. This is a book lover's paradise. Wall-to-wall books. Known as Libreria Acqua Alta, it's run by a most unusual man.
Molta gente mi dice che io non c'ho.
I am not the one who looked for books. The books are the ones that found me. They're very profound and make your soul come alive.
Libreria Acqua Alta is a truly unique interpretation of what a bookstore should be. It reflects Luigi's playful spirit and his unwavering passion for the written word.
La poesia è irreale.
I live for poetry because poetry is reality, the absolute true reality. My favorite, it begins like this. Each enchantment is whispered madness, and all passion is enchantment. An alluring young woman, a sorceress, more real than you believe.
Libreria Acqua Alta's eclectic collection has nearly 100,000 choices and includes a staircase made entirely of books. We look forward to exploring Venice's many hidden treasures with you.
All right, so what do you think about this bookstore? It's very funny, very odd place. Along the way to Rialto, this is where I'd love to take you. And it's not along the main way. You need to go into tiny calle to reach for it, to cross some bridges, but then there you are. I believe it's very worth it to go and visit. Besides, at the cash register, there are the real owners of this bookshop. 2 cats, 2 Venetian cats. Very good. So the second tip that I can give, if you are eager to try a gondola, but you don't want to spend 80 euros, is to use it from one side of the canal to the other, simply. So this is possible in several points along the Grand Canal. There are some gondola stations, and you will be queuing, not very much, usually it's not crowded, with some other Venetians. And in about 5 minutes time, you'll be on the other side of the canal, and you will enjoy a very neat gondola ride, just standing or sitting down even. So consider using this means of transportation to go from one side of the Grand Canal to the other without waiting for a big bridge, because there are only 3 bridges crossing the Grand Canal, so it's not always very close. So after we catch this gondola, we get here. This is a place that I particularly like. I love spending time here, and it's a place where it happened to meet a lot of Venetians that love shopping here. I'm talking about the Rialto market. Rialto market is one of the oldest open air market in the world. Part of the market is really in the open air, and they send vegetables, flowers, and fruit. While this one you're seeing in this picture is partly covered, it's under the arcades. And in this place, they have filmed a very, very famous movie with Al Pacino, The Merchant of Venice. It's a very picturesque place. And especially Venetians sellers are really making it special because they are shouting out loud the prices, the name of the fishes, and everything you can see is really fresh. Is the fresh day, fresh fish of the day. So all this seafood is being sold to Venetians, but also to the restaurants of Venice, and then served to you. Watch out, because the market closes at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Considering it's starting at 2 p.m. in the morning, you have to really adjust to their timing. Anyway, it's really worth it to go. And also, if you would like to find some fresh fruit to buy and eat immediately, that's a good place to go. And now, one of the landmarks of Venice, the Rialto Bridge. I'm sure you have recognized it immediately. The shape, it's really unique. It's the most beautiful shape of a bridge in Venice, and it dates back to the end of the 1600s. This bridge is connecting one side of Venice to the other side, and it was very important to have this bridge for Venice because all the merchandise that was arriving at Piazza San Marco along the lagoon needed to be transferred to the market. So it was essential for Venice to be able to cross the Grand Canal in this one point that happened to be the most ancient part of the city that was inhabited from the Venetians. So the heart of Venice is mostly this one. It's very busy. You will see a lot of boats going back and forth, vaporetto stations, as you can see, gondolas stations, and many tourists usually standing and stationing on top of it to take pictures, of course, because you have a great view over the Grand Canal. This kind of bridge, which is partly covered, you can see there are the arcades, there are many shops on top of the bridge, was very on fashion back then. And a similar bridge, but just with a different shape, was built in Florence a little bit earlier than this one, the Ponte Vecchio. The same concept, a bridge with the shops on top, same concept. So this bridge is beautiful because it's made of Istrian marble. The marble was coming from a colony of Venice in the nowadays Croatia, and was transported here. There are several statues, bas-reliefs, and arches, of course, and it took very long before it was finished. So there were many jokes being told in Venice about this. For example, a woman used to say, "My vagina will be on fire by the time they finish this bridge," while the man used to say, "Well, this is 1500 humor, you know." And it is represented in this bas-relief at the base of the bridge. A local man added, "The bridge will be finished when my penis grows a nail," and here you are. So I like Venice because every way you look, there is something that's telling a story. And this was just a funny one that I pick up for you. But let's go back to Rialto. So you see all the tourists, all the people are up here to take pictures. Well, this is not where I want to take you, because I want to take you higher. If you look on the right-hand side, you see this building that I am pointing with my mouse. I hope you are able to see it. On the right-hand side, there is a higher building that's called Fondaco dei Tedeschi. Fondaco dei Tedeschi has a long story. This building dates back to, say, 1400 and was donated from the city of Venice to the German community in Venice so that they could store merchandise, they could use it as a hotel and so on. And then with the time, it became a post office and nowadays a beautiful shopping mall. But that's not all. I want to take you up here because you will be higher than the Rialto Bridge and you'll be able to go on to stay on a terrace and take beautiful pictures over the Grand Canal and the whole lagoon. Let me show you. This is where I want to take you. So what do you think? I believe this view is really one of the best, or maybe the best in Venice. So this shopping mall dates back to about 5 years ago, or maybe less, yes. And not many tourists still know about it. And if you come, I will book the terrace for you. And from here you can enjoy a unique view and atmosphere over the roofs of Venice. So look how beautiful, it's really worth it. Anyway, it's a shopping center, I mean a shopping mall. So let's see how it is inside. Ready with your credit card? Okay, so this is the interior. It's made of several floors with arcade. And inside, all the best fashion designers of Europe have their own shop. So of course, it's quite expensive because when we talk about Gucci, Louis Vuitton and all that, you know, it's gonna be expensive. But if you are not in the mood for shopping, why don't you indulge in the bar at the ground floor? Here, you'll be able to relax, sit down, enjoy some coffee maybe, or maybe you would like something to drink, a typical Venetian drink like Bellini, and sipping your coffee or something, you can also look around and enjoy this jewel of Renaissance architecture. And then I have written here some good tips that are helpful if you find yourself in this area. So you enter this mall, and if you are in need of restrooms, that's a very good point. There aren't many public restrooms in the town, so you have two options. You either go inside a coffee shop, you pay for an espresso coffee, that's €1.20, and you use their bathroom. Or else you come here and you can enjoy very big and clean bathroom restrooms. So consider to come here, Fondaco dei Tedeschi, for everything you may need, really. Besides, you can find genuine, elegant souvenirs made by local artisans, or maybe you can just, oh no, the cuisine. 7 dishes. Not time to eat yet. But the best thing to do is go on the top floor and enjoy the terrace that I was showing you before. So Fondaco dei Tedeschi, remember this name.
Wait, Luana, I see that someone told me that we listen an echo. I don't know if, I don't know. You have a cask or headphone like that? Is to, because es como si tuvieras un eco en la voz. ¿No?
I will try to put my earphones on, okay?
Yes, I think with the cask, with the headphone, is going to be better, the sound.
Okay,
you have
hear me now?
It's great.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, and you have the micro, put the micro close of the headphone. It's better. It's little better, I think.
Better?
Yes, it's better. No, not echo like before.
Okay. Were you able to hear the volume of the videos?
Okay, now it's perfect. The sound now is good. It's better now.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's go out from the Fondaco dei Tedeschi, because I'm sure after we get to Rialto, you'll be a little bit hungry. So let's see what Venice have to offer in terms of cuisine.
We don't hear. It's not. We don't have sound here.
Those of the Republic of Venice. The main ingredient are peas.
It's good now.
Dish halfway between a soup and a risotto. The other protagonist of the recipe is the rice of the Gelato. Number 5, Gelato alla Veneziana. It's a very simple and very tasty recipe. There's great contrast. On one side, the intense taste of the calf liver, and on the other side, the sweetness of the chioccia onion. Number 4, bacala mantecato is a delicate and refined recipe. It is prepared with stockfish and can be served both as a starter and as the main course. Number 3, piccoli in sauce. They're the equivalent of pasta with sardines. It is a tasty dish with a simple condiment, finely sliced onions, sardines, extra virgin olive oil, and piccoli, a pasta format similar to large spaghetti with a porous and rough surface, with a great consistency that can retain sauces. Number 2, sardines in saor. Sardines in saor are an exquisite starter of Venetian cuisine, a dish born from the need of Venetian sailors to preserve fish during long sea crossings. Number 1, squid ink spaghetti. In the lagoon of Venice, squid ink is an ingredient used since ancient times. Originally, it was used to dress the squids themselves, cut into chunks, then someone thought to use it also with linguine. Content realized with the contributions of Gran Sapore Ristorante for the valorization of the territory. Gran Sapore Restaurant tastes the best Venetian gastronomic specialties in the heart of Venice.
Very good. So I hope you find someone that you may like. The cuisine of Venice, of course, has a lot of foreign influences as well, because during the centuries, Venice, if you're not familiar with the history of the town, that's good to specify, was the queen of the Mediterranean. It was able to conquer a lot of territories all along the Balkans, down until some islands of Greece. And Marco Polo, I don't know if you know this character, was one of the first European to reach China and Mongolia during the 1300s. So China became a little bit closer to Europe and during those time, and especially started a connection with Venice very soon. As a matter of fact, many people believe that the spaghetti that are so popular in Italy came from China with Marco Polo. Well, anyway, you can choose a lot of restaurants in Venice, of course, ready to give you a lot of advice. If instead you are looking forward to visit more of the town, you don't want to spend too much time sitting down in a restaurant, well, I have something to suggest. Like one of these. This is a kind of osteria, would be known as osteria all around Italy. But in Venice, this is taking a special name, Baccaro, B-A-C-A-R-O, Baccaro. What is a Baccaro? It's a simple place where you enter.
Wait, Luana. I think that there is someone that tell that don't listen. What, Rosamari? I think if someone can raise the hand if they don't listen. Only one? Sound is okay? It's okay. I think it's you, Rosemary. Rosemary, you need, when you connect, Zoom is going to ask you to connect the audio of your computer. Okay? I think it's with your computer. Perfect. Thank you very much. We carry on. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. So this is one baccaro. So it means you go inside, and all the furnituring is very simple as well, very informal. And from a big window, you have the chance to choose very little crostini or tapas, let's say Venetian tapas, made of cheese, fresh fish of the day, meat, polenta. I mean, all the best of Italian cuisine, fresh food, in a mini format like a crostino. But let me show you what I'm talking about. Here it is. So in front of you, there will be a window more or less like this. And all the crostini, the tapas, have been freshly made every day by the osteria owner and exposed in these windows. So if you are not very hungry and you don't want to spend too much time, then you can go for maybe a plate with 5 or 6 of these. And of course, a very good glass of wine. You know, in Veneto region, we have a lot of wines. As a matter of fact, the best seller wine in this moment in the world is Prosecco, which is made in the Veneto hills, only 1 hour train from Venice. But if you would like to drink something more Venetian and more social, then what about this? You are gonna see a lot of groups of people outside Baccari standing with a glass of this color, orange or red, in their hand, chatting, laughing, because this is very social in Italy. You take an aperitivo, you go outside, you stand with your aperitivo, and you just enjoy the company of your friends, or you just sit down, sip it, and just enjoy the town. So this social drink has a name, Spritz, S-P-R-I-T-Z. Why Spritz? It doesn't sound really Italian, doesn't it? In fact, it's not Italian. This name came from a time, the end of the 18th century, when Venice was ruled by the Austrians. So there were many soldiers in town from Austria. And of course, they just enjoy and love the city, and they enjoy the wine a lot, maybe too much. So the chiefs went to every baccaro, to every osteria, to order to water down the wine of their soldiers. This was an order. So water down means to add some salt to these drinks. That's why they are named, they are called Spritz. So it's a mixture of 1/3 of Prosecco wine, 1/3 of water, seltzer water, and 1/3 of this liquor, which is like a martini, kind of martini, and it could be more bitter or more sweet. The red one is more bitter, and the orange one is a little bit more sweet. Of course, inside you're gonna find an olive. They are usually serving this drink, Spritz, with some potato chips or with some tapas in order to avoid you to get drunk immediately. But anyway, try it. You haven't been to Venice if you haven't tried Spritz. Okay, I know this picture looks a little bit weird, but imagine that this is the effect you are gonna see after 3 or 4 Spritz. You are gonna see Venice like this. And now, which kind of guide would I be if I wouldn't be informed about gelato places? So I would like to tell you about my favorite gelato place, which is along the Grand Canal. The name is Nico, and they are offering a specialty that you don't find in every ice cream shop. So this one you're seeing is a takeaway gelato, of course. and is gianduiotto. Gianduia means hazelnut chocolate, and it's a cube of hazelnut ice cream in a glass topped with fresh whipped cream. It's really delicious, really delicious. So if you want to go to this place, the Vaporetto stop for you will be Zappere. But there are many gelato shops all over the town, so don't worry. But let's go ahead. So now that we are in Rialto, in the Rialto area, in 8 minutes time, you can be in St. Mark's Square. So why stopping here? Let's go on. So in just 8 minutes walk, you'll find yourself in the square surrounded by many important iconic monuments. St. Mark Basilica, of course, the Clock Tower, and Café Florian, one of the oldest coffee shops in the world, and the Correr Museum. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Here you are. So this is the San Marco Basilica. Everybody knows it. You have seen it thousands of times. I can tell you that this basilica was started in the 9th century after Christ, and the last change in the architecture was made in the 1600s. So every piece of this basilica is telling a story of an age, of something that happened in Venice. For example, the shape of the whole basilica is very unique, really unique. As you can see, it's not the typical Latin cross church, but it's a Greek cross church. Of course, because Venice had a lot of relationship and connection with the eastern part of Europe and the Middle East. So of course, all the arches are telling that there was a stronger connection with the Arab world. But I don't want to tell you more than this about it. Consider a visit inside, because the interior of the basilica is stunning. It is completely covered with golden mosaics, so it really deserves a visit. But let's go on. Look at this. Besides the basilica, there is the Campanile di San Marco, the St. Mark Bell Tower. And the second place where I would suggest you to go higher is right this one. So if you go on top of the Campanile, where there are these arches, you'll be able to enjoy another beautiful view over the lagoon, really unforgettable. I decided to put the left picture to tell you that the Campanile, the bell tower, is not as old as the basilica, of course. It dates back to 1902 because the previous one, unfortunately, collapsed in 1902. So they had to rebuild it, and it's nowadays another landmark of Venice. You have to know that from the Venetian hills, 100 kilometers away from Venice, during very sunny days and clear sky, you can see the Campanile of St. Mark. Let's go on. Look here. On the other side of the square St. Mark, there is another beautiful Renaissance architectural treasure jewel, the Torre dell'Orologio, the clock tower, 1493. If you would like to see the magical mechanism that's behind these two bronze statues, then you can climb the tower, go on top, and see how they were counting the time back in the 1500s. That's another very interesting and less known monument of this square. But that's not all. Look here. I believe it's also time for another espresso. And where have a beautiful espresso if not in the oldest coffee shop in the world, Café Florian? I decided to put this picture because during Carnival, in the month of February, this coffee shop used to be full of masks, people with masks of all kinds, especially the old-fashioned ones. dating back to the 18th century when all Venetians were wearing one for a lot of months during the year. In fact, Carnival, Mardi Gras in Venice was not only for a week in February, but it went on from February until the month of October. Everybody, every Venetian was enjoying a mask like this one, for example. You see this? This is the typical tricorno of Venice because it was made with the three horns. And for the ladies, it has this veil that was able to disguise you even more. And many others. So in Venice, Mardi Gras is much more than a time for fun, but it's a lifestyle. Remember Casanova and all that? So many stories to tell. So I would suggest you to come and watch through the windows this beautiful Café Florian, because inside it's full of stuccos, pictures of very famous people who went there for a coffee or just to be inspired for their next books. I am talking about Hemingway. was basically Café Florian. Usually there is an orchestra and sometimes there are duets and so on. So if you come back during the evening, there is a very romantic atmosphere because they are playing the most romantic song, like the soundtrack of Morricone and the best in international pop music and so on, but always very atmospheric, very lounge and easy listening, very nice. And especially they are played by professionals. Of course, if you consider sitting down in St. Mark Square, be careful because of course it's going to be very expensive. It's going to be expensive because you are sitting in one of the best squares, most beautiful square in the world. And living in Venice is very expensive itself. And especially also there is this music accompanying the day, the time, and so on. So if you are here on a budget, maybe you better watch the Florian Cafe from the outside, but not sit down in the square. Also in other bars around St. Mark Square, be careful because they can rip you off just because they are in the heart of town. So be careful with that. Very good. So time to go on. A lot of questions. We are getting to the end almost. And here we are. I would like to finish my itinerary in front of the lagoon in the St. Mark Square, but with the Doge Palace on our left-hand side. This beautiful palace, very unique, with these Turkish style windows and double colored marble, pink and white. This used to be the residence of the king of the Most Serene Republic that was named Doge, the Doge, like a duke, a Doge. The Most Serene Republic went on for many centuries, and Venetians are of course very proud of the history of their town, and it's normal that they are. And in front of this square overlooking the lagoon, you are gonna have one of the most beautiful view, very good Japanese corner for your pictures, and something really inspiring you to discover more of Venice. So I took you from the train station to the very heart of the city, and I have trying to add something more original and new, but the best thing you can do is come and see yourself. Of course, I am composing tailor-made itineraries for everybody. Just let me know your request, your needs, what you want to see. If you are an art lover, I have other itineraries. If you are food lovers, then I have a lot to take you to, and so on. So I'm really looking forward to meet you in person in beautiful Venice. So I would like to say everybody goodbye, and especially see you later this year. Looking forward to meet you all, and thank you for attending this meeting with the InterNations. Thank you for everybody.
Thank you very much, Luana. Thank you. We are going to pass now for the question. Very good timing. Very, very, very good. It's 9:30. We are going to pass now. I stopped the recording.